All right, let's talk about Terry Gilliam's 12 Monkeys. This isn't just a movie. It's a puzzle box that completely twists your brain into a pretzel. It's a story where you can't trust memories, the future is already written, and the hero is literally haunted by his own death. So, if you've ever finished this film feeling totally lost in its time loops, trust me, you are not alone. Let's unravel this masterpiece, one paradox at a time.
The story kicks off with a number that's almost impossible to wrap your head around. 5 billion. That's how many people got wiped off the face of the Earth by a deadly virus. Now, this is key. They're not trying to stop this from happening. It already happened. The world is over.
So, fast forward to the year 2035. The surface of the planet, it belongs to the animals now. The few humans who are left are living in these grim underground bunkers. They're basically prisoners in a world they lost. Their only real hope is this one desperate gamble. Send somebody back to the past, not to change it, but just to find the source of their extinction.
So that brings us to our first section, a mission from the future.
So who do they pick for this job? Meet James Cole. He's a violent, troubled prisoner living in 2035. The scientists in charge see him as the perfect guinea pig. He's tough, he's resilient, and maybe most importantly, he's expendable. They offer him a full pardon if he takes on this, let's be honest, suicide mission. It's an offer he really can't refuse.
On paper, the mission sounds pretty straightforward. Step 1, go to 1996, where it all started. Step 2, find the original, pure virus. Step 3, send a message back to 2035 with the location. And Step 4, come on home. You see, the goal isn't to save the past, it's about giving the future a fighting chance. But in the world of 12 Monkeys, nothing is ever that simple.
Which brings us right to part 2, Lost in Time.
So the scientists fire up their pretty sketchy-looking time machine, and they aim for 1996.
And they miss. By 6 years, Cole pops into existence naked and totally confused in 1990 Baltimore. And, as you can imagine, his frantic warnings about a future plague gets him sent exactly where you'd expect, locked up in a mental institution.
Inside, he meets a psychiatrist, Dr. Kathryn Railly, and he tries to explain himself with this absolutely chilling line. This really gets to the core of the whole movie. He's not a hero sent to stop a disaster. He's more like an archaeologist, a scout sent to study a ruin that has already crumbled to dust. It's also in this asylum that he has this really fateful encounter. He meets Jeffrey Goines, a seriously unhinged anti-consumerist who seems way too interested in Cole's story about the end of the world. But before Cole can figure out what's going on, he's violently ripped back to his own time, just vanishing from his locked room and leaving Dr. Railly completely baffled.
And this brings us to part 3, the 12 Monkeys mystery.
Back in 2035, the scientists show him this garbled message they intercepted from the past, and it mentions the army of the 12 Monkeys. And they're like, this is it. They think they've found the group responsible. So now, Cole has a new target. Find this army. But this time travel tech is, well, it's dangerously glitchy. On his next drive from 1996, he accidentally gets dropped right into the trenches of World War I and gets shot. He's pulled back pretty quick, but then he's finally dropped, injured, into his correct target year.
So in 1996, a desperate Cole kidnaps Dr. Railly and tracks down the 12 Monkeys. And he's shocked to find out their leader is none other than Jeffrey Goines. But when he confronts him, Goines says he has no idea what he's talking about. No virus. And then, in this incredible twist, he says the whole idea of wiping out humanity with a plague wasn't his, it was Cole's, an idea Cole planted in his head way back in the asylum.
So that brings us to the breaking point, part 4, Revelation at the Airport. It turns out the army of the 12 Monkeys was a giant red herring. Their big secret master plan? It wasn't unleashing a plague. It was an elaborate prank to release all the animals from the Philadelphia Zoo. They were just activists, not apocalyptic terrorists. Just as Cole and Railly are processing this, they spot the real threat, hiding in plain sight. It's this quiet, apocalyptic lab assistant who works for Goines' dad, the famous virologist. He's just calmly walking through airport security with vials of the pure virus, about to kick off the end of the world. Cole, completely breaking the rules of his mission, tries to stop him. He pulls a gun, runs out to stop the plane, but the police who've been hunting him open fire. And just like that, James Cole is shot and killed, dying right there in Dr. Railly's arms. But his death isn't the end of the story. In a way, it's the beginning.
This is Part 5, The Unbreakable Loop.
Okay, so throughout the whole movie, Cole has been haunted by this recurring memory from when he was a kid, a man getting shot at an airport. And now we finally understand why, watching him die as a small boy. And that boy is a young James Cole. The traumatic memory that defined his entire life was the memory of watching himself die. This is the central paradox, the real mind-bender of the film. The past could never be changed. Think about it. If Cole had stopped the virus, the future that sent him back in the first place would cease to exist. The apocalypse had to happen. His mission was only ever about finding the virus, not stopping it.
But does that mean the mission was a failure? Well, not quite. On the plane, the terrorist sits down next to a woman. She tells him she's in insurance, but we recognize her. She's one of the lead scientists from 2035. Cole's final message got through. He pointed them to the right man at the right time. She's there to follow him and get a sample of the pure virus right at the source so that in the future they can finally create a cure. Cole died, but the mission, it succeeded.
And that's what the film leaves us with, this really haunting question. James Cole was trapped in a time loop, doomed to witness and re-witness a tragedy he could do nothing about. So if you can't change your destiny, what's the point of fighting it? What is the value of knowing the future if you're completely powerless to stop it?